Folks, let me tell you about my good friend Todd Nettleton from the Voice of the Martyrs. For over 2 decades, Todd has risked his life to bring attention to the persecution of Christians around the world. Now he's written a powerful book called faithisbitcoin.com, or call 8 to be with you. As always, email us freedom@charliekirk.com. We are here at the mobilebitcoin.com studio. That is the mobilebitcoin.com studio. The studio is playing some music here. Joe Crocker. Second. Breaking last night, the Wall Street Journal attempted a terrible drive-by, as the great Rush Limbaugh would say it, as I'm wearing my Rush Was Right t-shirt, of our phenomenal president. I mean, as soon as I read the story, I said, this is the dumbest, obviously fakest thing. I don't believe it. Apparently, it was some sort of like a pseudo love letter. The bombshell story was some kind of birthday card album assembled for Epstein by Ghislaine Maxwell in 2003. There's no photo of the letter in question or the birthday cards supposedly sent by other people. It only described by the Wall Street Journal, which also cites people familiar with them, so they clearly didn't see the whole thing. The card is some sort of a hand-drawn illustration of a naked woman done in marker, and then Donald Trump's signature over her midsection to apparently imitate pubic hair. It's just like so for Epstein's 50th birthday. The implication is that Trump might have made this illustration himself, which just sounds so bizarre. When has he ever done anything like this? Look, I have several.
Where did they find this illustration at?
Well, he said they don't have any like image of it or anything like this. It's just, I don't know where Wall Street Journal. They need the answer to that.
Yeah, where did they get that from?
Like, I don't even think they got it.
Did they reach into the unreleased Epstein files and come up with this, and nobody else saw it in there?
Right.
That's a bit weird. How did they get their hands on it?
2003.
Right.
Here it is, 25.
Well, Epstein was arrested. What year was he arrested? The first time?
The first time was 94, I think it was.
Okay. So when was the second time he was arrested? Because you would think that would have surfaced long before now.
Wasn't it 16?
I don't know.
But either way, it wasn't in 2003.
Right. And you would think that would have surfaced long before now.
Right.
I mean, or is that just me thinking that way?
No, I thought the same thing.
Like, why did it just pop up that day when they released the files, like what, last week? And there was no client list, and that's when people were upset. And now, before the transcripts were released, here comes this letter. So where exactly did that letter come from?
Exactly.
Right.
Maybe we missed it. Should we go back and listen again?
Hey, let's try that.
As I read the story, I said, this is the dumbest, obviously fakest thing. I don't believe it. Apparently, it was some sort of like a pseudo love letter. The bombshell story was some kind of birthday card album assembled for Epstein by Ghislaine Maxwell in 2003. There's no photo of the letter in question or the birthday cards supposedly sent by other people. It only described by the Wall Street Journal, which also cites people familiar with them, so they clearly didn't see the whole thing. The card is some sort of a hand-drawn illustration of a naked woman done in marker, and then Donald Trump's signature over her midsection to apparently imitate pubic hair. It's just like so for Epstein's 50th birthday. The implication is that Trump might have made this illustration himself, which just sounds so bizarre. When has he ever done anything like this? Look, I have several handwritten notes from President Trump. He's not a doodler. He's not a drawer. I mean, this is nothing like him at all. I mean, these are, yeah. So There's a typed up third person conversation between Trump and Epstein where the lines attributed to Trump don't sound like him at all. Like this quote, enigmas never age. Okay, let me just say this. I know the president. You guys know the president. You have watched him for over a decade do MAGA rallies ever since he went down the golden escalator. Does, quote, enigmas never age, quote, may every day be a wonderful secret. Does that sound like President Donald Trump? Trump never Trump says this was all a hoax and says, as far as he's concerned, it sounds like it. Nothing sounds remotely like Trump, like he would write up on his own. And so the Wall Street Journal releases this last night. Now, we quickly came to the president's defense because this thing was obviously a hit job, obviously a drive-by shooting trying to go after President Trump, trying to tie some of the Epstein news to President Trump to try to bring down his approval ratings and try to weaken him. Right after that, though, was literally within an hour, President Donald Trump announced a bombshell development, massive, where President Donald Trump announced that he is authorizing Pam Bondi to move to unseal the grand jury testimony in the Ghislaine Maxwell case. We discussed this a couple times throughout the week. This is a massive development. This is something that needs to be focused on. For any of you that care about the Epstein story, what's likely to be in the transcripts? Well, testimony of Epstein and Maxwell victims and witnesses, in particular their actions, their associations, locations, and timelines. Discussions of physical and documentary evidence is likely to be in there. Maxwell's phone wiretap records, logbooks, private island, and photographic evidence. We don't know for sure if that's going to be in there, but any references to any of that stuff very well might be in the grand jury documents. However, certain experts note that these transcripts may be limited in scope. They will focus on Epstein and Maxwell, not on the broader allegations among other high-profile individuals. But still, this is a phenomenal development, and thank you, President Trump, and thank you to this Trump administration. So the team decided to play, I get along with the help of my friends, as a little bit, kind of as a lighthearted joke and a little bit of a wink and a nod. You see, I went viral this week because I said, look, a lot of people that I know in the administration, my friends in the White House staff and throughout the government, they were working on this, that your voices were heard over the weekend at the Student Action Summit. And people were mocking me. They say, oh, Charlie, do you trust the government? I said, look, okay, I'm not saying I trust the government. I say my friends are working on this. Well, it turns out it looks like they were, and they deserve great credit for it, for all the White House staff, for everyone that was involved in this, and especially, of course, the president. This is a massive move, and one that is met with celebration, and one that is met with gratitude, and one that honestly shows that President Trump is moving in a transparent way that Joe Biden never moved. Joe Biden very well could have moved to unseal the grand jury documents. Many of these things have been in the works, and I didn't know how long any of this was going to take, obviously. And look, this show is full of, at times, little Easter eggs and tidbits. And instead of assuming the worst, perhaps I want everyone to see things more clearly. And again, has President Trump not earned our trust at this time? That's what I was trying to say back on Monday, and maybe I said it a little imprecisely after a sleepless weekend and a high adrenaline event. What I was trying to get at is after the tariffs, after the Iran situation, after all the successes, President Donald Trump is worthy of our confidence. We should have a full confidence vote in President Donald Trump. And throughout the entire week, I know that there was a lot of question of, hey, what's going on here? What's going on here? And now here we are on Friday. Number one, he gets attacked just relentlessly by the Wall Street Journal in such an uncalled for way. And we have his back 100% against the smearing and the slandering. And then number two, President Donald Trump has authorized Pam Bondi in a historic way to show a commitment to transparency and what he has said this entire week. And he has always had an ace in the hole to play. Boom. Last night, President Donald Trump drops this massive news. And President Donald Trump has been alluding to that all week. I want the credible information out. If it's credible, we should get it out. And the grand jury documentation largely is credible and should be received as such. And also, let's just be honest, everybody. We do not want what has happened this last week to slow down the momentum of this great administration. We're not going to let that happen on this program. This is very important, and the president deserves thanks. So for any of you in the audience that were a little uneasy, that were a little anxious, I think it's morally incumbent on you to say, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for stepping up and for doing this. Thank you, President Trump, for fulfilling what you said you were going to do, because he does deserve credit. And the entire White House administration deserves credit because they've been dealing with 900 different things. And I know that patience in the time of social media is a virtue that is lost. It's very difficult for a lot of us. I'm one of the most impatient people imaginable. My entire team will tell you, it's like, where's it going? What's happening in real time? Mike, you will attest to this. I'm one of the most impatient people ever created on God's green earth. But President Donald Trump, we should take a step back. He's doing a phenomenal job. The border's secure. The economy's doing much better. He's ending wars all over the world. That he has earned, one of my favorite words in the English language, he has earned our confidence. He has earned it.
But I'm scared.
Thank you, President Trump.
I'm
scared.
I'm scared.
Ricky, what's she calling Ricky? Rickety.
Rickety. You know he deporting Haitians. You know who next, right? They going on up through that Constitution. The MAGA movement mean your ass don't have no rights.
And you know what?
Shout out to Rickety Smiley.
Rickety. What's sad to me is, and I was telling somebody, I said, I still got confidence in Trump. Like when it came to all of this stuff, it was like everybody was turning on him, and I still was like, I still got confidence. I said, my thing is, that's like somebody coming to me about, you know, my friend, you better prove it. You know what I'm saying? You can't just come and tell me anything and I just sit there and be like, oh, okay, whatever you said, that's what it is now. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we kind of know, like he said, you know, we didn't heard him talk, we didn't seen his actions and stuff like that. And what he said that really, I was like, it's true. He always got an ace in the hole to play.
But if you can't take his word for it, what should be convincing to anybody that has common sense is when you hear them same Democrats that's going against him now saying that they would do the things he's doing now. When you go back in the past and you hear Hillary, Obama, Biden, and all of them talking about doing the same things that Trump is doing now, how can they call it wrong when they said they wanted to do it?
Right. All of them said it.
All of them said that.
They even
maybe they
said
just
that
didn't have the balls to do it, or maybe they just didn't have the know-how to accomplish it.
Right. Because in
But
this
they said they wanted to do that.
In this campaign, the Brett, whatever, no, not Brett, the black guy that was talking to Kamala asked her who is our biggest threat, and she said Iran, and we gotta do something. You know what I'm saying? So that was just in 2024 that she said that.
Exactly. So she knew this. She knew what the playbook was. She was sitting right there all along. She knew everything. That's why for her to start playing dumb at the last minute is very disingenuous. And that's why she lost all those votes that she had garnered up.
I'm wondering what happened to Project 2025.
I guess this is Project 2025.
Oh.
I guess.
Nobody's saying I told you.
Except Kamala. I told you. You also told us that you watched your greens in the bathtub.
Right.
That was supposed to be a indicator of you being a part of black culture.
Right.
No one ain't not black person in this country ever washed their greens in a bathtub.
And she said her grandma was black.
Right. Right. Her grandma, the servant. I'm sorry, that was not her
house
grandma.
Nigga. Like the house nigga.
That definitely wasn't her grandma. That was the help.
Mm-mm.
The proof
Mm-hmm.
is right there in her own book.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And for those that don't know, what about the plantation that her family owned?
Right. Shout out to Candace Owens for that. If y'all didn't
Mm-hmm.
see the Candace Owens special on Kamala, check it out. Very
And you
revealing.
can look it up on the internet. Put in Kamala Harris family plantation. It's called Sugar Plantation.
Yeah, but she don't want to talk
I
about
wonder
all that.
was those white slaves they own or black ones. Clearly, it was the black one in the picture, huh?
Well, of course, they
Uh-huh.
were black in the picture. They wouldn't have allowed them to own white slaves in the time period that they showed up. That had already been abolished. You know, they had done away with indentured servitude long before they started chattel slavery.
Oh, okay, okay. Wow.
They weren't a part of it anymore. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they had backed themselves up out of it and started changing laws to where it didn't, you know, those things didn't fall on them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, different subject for a different day.
Yeah. Oh, we not
Back to
finished with the
no,
video? Okay.
no. Charlie Kirk
Okay.
still got more to say.
Okay. Okay. Speak on.
And I think we should say at this particular time, this is a massive move. It is a major move that is deserving of gratitude and of thanks with all the other stuff that he's working on. But also, it was very fun to see. Nothing unites MAGA like fake news. And it was also so interesting because the DOJ news became second. It was very telling when to see who actually came to the president's defense when this Wall Street Journal piece was dropped. It was very telling. A lot of people were coming to the president's defense after the Pam Bondi news, but it was very telling that a lot of people did not defend the president there. I mean, this is so ridiculous. Someone said, "What? This is like the picture of Donald Trump. Donald Trump did this." It's such a joke that he's like some sort of doodler, and now he's he's Robert Frost or something as a poet. It
Wait a
doesn't
minute.
read
Wait,
like
wait,
him. It
wait,
doesn't
wait,
sound
wait.
like him. I don't believe it.
That was kind of artistic. Hold on. That's I think that took a small degree of talent there from Charlie Kirk. Anyways,
Donald Trump did this. It's such a joke that he's like some sort of doodler, and now he's he's Robert Frost or something as a poet. It doesn't read like him. It doesn't sound like him. I don't believe it. I will say though, the Wall Street Journal story does not pass the smell test. Why didn't Democrats use this story years ago? It's a good question. Nothing unites MAGA quite like fake news. Last night was a big night. We say thank you, President Trump. And now it's in the hands of the courts. It's in the hands of the Department of Justice. And we'll see what happens.
all right. I guess we will see what happens.
All right. Now, what did you say was smart of Charlie?
No, I was commenting on his doodling with the the stick figure chick with boobs.
Yeah, it's sad how many people turn on him on it. But I was telling somebody earlier, I said the thing about it is sometimes you find out who your true friends are, who your friends are, who really got your back, who loyalty lie with you when the tough get going. You really do.
Right.
So a lot of people they've been exposed for whatever reason, whether it's because you was just doing it for the good for him for content, or if you was willing to get paid to do the bad for content. Either way, a lot of people respected some of these people.
Mm-hmm.
I respected Benny Johnson and Megyn Kelly. Now I look at them different, and even if it's just for content purposes, I cannot see myself doing content and flipping on the other side. Like, you can't get me to be sitting up here lying for content. It ain't that deep for me.
Right. Especially, you lying to the whole world.
To the whole, right? You don't mind misguiding.
Where's your integrity?
Oh goodness,
You don't
exactly.
have any. And it seems like the Wall Street Journal, is that the Wall Street Journal that put that out?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to catch a lawsuit.
Oh, he's suing them.
Exactly.
He already got a lawsuit
They trying to
because he
they trying to
told them
catch
not
a
to post
lawsuit.
that in the first place. He said it wasn't him. It wasn't true. It wasn't him. That's not him. And they posted it anyway. And now he got a lawsuit against them.
He's gonna make a fortune off the media if they keep it up.
Mhm. Right? He gonna get all his back and some. Look, he
And
ain't even got to work. Look, he ain't
sad to
gotta
say, you know what? I hate to say it, but if he does build beachfront property in Palestine, the
work.
media is paying for it.
Right.
As wicked as that is, the media is paying for it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I do not condone that,
You're right.
but they are like they're funding any endeavor he might want to get into in
Mhm.
3.5 years.
Mhm. And like he not taking money as president, but he getting well paid.
Yeah,
He getting paid for people to talk about him. I think I'll
exactly.
be looking at it a little bit differently too. Like, yeah, talk on, keep on. I want y'all to talk. Go right ahead. Y'all making me rich. Y'all taking care of my kids' future.
I,
On top of what we already got.
pretty much. It's
Hey, I might look
very
at it
sad.
different. Right. Look, it don't bother me for people to talk about me. But if I was getting paid on top of it, I might be doing stuff to make people talk about me.
Well,
Literally.
defamation of character goes a long way,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to be famous.
Right.
Well, not necessarily famous. Like
No.
you could be a social media figure and sue for defamation.
Okay. But getting that kind of money.
Well, you won't get that kind of money.
Right, right, right. That's how I say, yeah, when you say you have to be would you say known, a public figure?
Yeah,
Yeah. Shoot.
you
Hey,
have to have
if
some
I was
fame to
Trump,
be
I'd
famed.
try to yeah. If I was Trump, I'd try to spark up something every other day. I'd give them something so they can jump on board and do some
But
stuff
he
like
don't
this.
have to.
Yeah, he don't even have to. You're right. You're right.
Anything he does, they criticize.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. If they put a microphone low enough and they catch a fart, they're gonna make a media story about
Hey, in a minute, ain't gonna be no media. He's gonna
it.
shut everybody down.
Either that or he will have a vested interest in the media soon.
Right. Right.
He is making enough money off of them to buy stock in their company.
See, I think the media not having too much luck as far as like because the Democrats falling off the map.
Right.
Once they gone and they stop talking, it's over. Like what you gonna do? Jump on Trump's bandwagon and be like, "Oh, he's such a great president. He's doing this. He's doing that." I think that's why people ought to stay in the middle when it comes to the media because now, like Benny Johnson, he already said he lost views when he came out and was talking junk about Trump. He
Right.
lost views. He trying
Hmm.
to act like he don't care, but I bet he on there right now, like we got it, y'all. He did it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, dude. For me, when I see your loyalty ain't there, and I'm not saying you got to be loyal to wrong, but it wasn't no wrong proven. You know what I'm saying? And you jumping on the bandwagon for somebody that you elected and should trust enough, at least enough to give them the benefit of the doubt because they don't have no proof, and we know what the Democrats do. So why are we on board with that?
Right.
Now if he got caught doing something or whatever, then you got every right to say whatever you want to say, but just jumping on a bandwagon with some people you know don't like him, trying to get rid of him, causing him problems. Like, I'm pissed off that you causing him issues, and this man is trying to help this country. And not only that, look at, he got health conditions going on. You know, he could have, once I heard that, I'm like, shoot, he might have been like, skip all of this stuff right this moment. I need to take care of my health. And he didn't put it out there, you know what I'm saying, immediately. He went and got checked out and everything so he could let everybody know. But he, you know, you see your ankle swelling, or you need to get checked out. Then I think he had a little surgery or something too. I believe they said they said he had a minor surgery. And so, I'm just like, I mean, to even try to cause that much stress on a person where you just, what kind of people are these? Like, you just evil.
Well, they are. Uh, think about the things they're trying to do. Uh, it's just an evil group of people. Anytime you're trying to not only make a way for children to have uh, exchange operations, and they
Mm-hmm.
finance it too without
Mm-hmm.
the parents' consent, that is evil.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And you putting it in schools to influence children to do it, you laying all the groundwork for all that. That is sick.
Right. And this come over a child talking to their parents, or getting their parents' permission, because it's like most parents gonna say no, so they gonna let them do it without asking the parent. Like, what?
Right. That's craziness.
Right.
And
When the
these
mental health
people,
follow.
and it's normalized in their mind. They don't see anything wrong with it. And I would have to question myself. Wait a minute, what happened to my brain? Why am I thinking this way?
Exactly.
Where
I
did
mean,
where did
when
we
mental health. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, how did we get from where we were to where we are now? What
Right.
triggered the change mentally?
Obama,
So sad.
Biden, everybody in that, on that whole side, MK Ultra, like, for real, because these people are different now. It's like you can slap them in the head with the truth, and they still don't feel it. They still don't see it. They still act like they don't get it. It's like, I'm wondering, are these robots around this mug?
It's like we went to sleep one day and woke up in Bizarro world.
Seriously. And then what I was gonna say was, these kids, these schools, and this ideology and stuff like that. When these kids, you let these kids make decisions for themselves under certain circumstances, but yet when mental health or mental illness follow behind it, depression and all of that kind of stuff, or the side issues come behind it, guess who got to deal with it? The parents, the ones who couldn't didn't even know what was going on.
Exactly. And then where do the parents turn if that child um, turns to Harry Carey or something like that?
Exactly. And then any issues following behind, they're gonna blame it on the parent,
Exactly.
or put it on the parent. The parent is the one that's left to deal with it. This is issues that
After they
these are
rendered the
issues.
parents powerless.
Exactly. After you open a door for issues that didn't even have to exist, and probably wouldn't have existed if the parents would have had say so.
Right.
Like, lawless. Like, you don't got to do what your parents say no more. Forget what your parents think. Who teaches a kid like that? You should always teach a kid to tell their parent the truth. So now if a kid is straight or something, you teaching them the whole secrets from their parents.
Right. Right.
If you teaching them to lie to them on one end, then you teaching them how you opening a door for them to just be lying and keeping secrets and doing whatever they want to do. Like
Until it's
it's
too late. And then
right,
what can the parent do? You
exactly,
can't sue if there's a law passed on it, right?
right.
Or you'd have to take it to the Supreme Court if you can afford it and try to challenge the law.
A guy did that. His I think he got one or two sons. I think no, he got one son. Him and his wife end up divorcing because she was trying to say that the son can't. She was turning the son into that, and the daddy was against it. He went to court. He went. I gotta find that story, and we can do a video on that. I'm gonna find the story, but he fought the mother, and the judge and everybody was like taking the mother's side. He like, what do? He telling them why this little boy should not why, and that he's the other parent. He should have a say in it. No, they went with what she said.
Well, stay tuned for that coming stream then, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Get it ready.
Right.
But I guess somebody owes Trump an apology, according to Charlie
Mm-hmm.
Kirk.
That's right. According to me too.
Me too, really.
All right.
I like to stay non-biased, really, until it's blatantly obvious.
Right.
Just hit them with the facts. I guess
Mm-hmm.
that's what Charlie did.
Right. Yep. Well, we'll